Shalom everybody, this is Rabbi Itzhak Shapira from Ahavat Ammi Ministries and Yeshivat Shuvu. Since all of you are part of what we're doing, I consider each and every one of you a true partner in the work of Ahavat Ammi Ministries and our educational branch, Yeshivat Shuvu. I felt it would be really appropriate for me to take a few minutes and share with you what has been transpired here in the Dominican Republic over the last 48 hours. This is beyond a shadow of a doubt one of the most important things that I personally have experienced as a minister, as a teacher, as a rabbi in my life. So I wanted to share with you, not just as an update, but through a prophetic lens, why I believe that this is important, why I believe that this is significant. But first of all, let me start by telling you what took place here in the last 2 days. 2 years ago, one of my students, who is from the Dominican Republic, decided that we are going to hold a march here to stand against anti-Semitism, replacement theology, here in the Dominican Republic. I laughed at her and I said, it's impossible. We don't have support and we don't have resources. How on earth are we going to get it done? But this particular individual had a great faith. And I want to tell you something. When you have great faith, God can and will move mountains for you. To my shock, this individual was able to mobilize, through the grace of God, dozens of pastors for an historic event that attracted 3,000 people. To my amazement, the next year we held the same event one more time, but this time we did not see 3,000 people, we saw 6,000 people who showed up to stand for the God of Israel, for reconciliation between Yeshua and Israel, to stand up for Israel as a nation. It's moved many people, including the ambassador of Israel. In this event, the Lord has gave me a word to share with the island, a word of challenge. I ask the island, the religious leader, who is willing to enter into a covenant with the God of Israel? Who is willing to enter into a covenant with the Jewish people? Simply by marching, we have achieved very little. But if we truly change, if we change our theology and the way we look at the Torah, at the Jewish people, we achieve something great. I challenge them. And to my amazement, the entire leaders of this nation said, here we are. We are ready. I asked myself the question, why does it happen in the Dominican Republic? What's special about it? If you know the history, you know that in 1939, right before the World War, nobody wanted to take Jews in South America. The only nation that opened its doors to the Jewish people is the Dominican Republic, who have taken thousands and thousands of Jewish people. Because of that, I believe there is merit today upon this island. I'm fast forwarding now to this last week. Roughly 2.5 weeks ago, when I was in Israel, I was with one of my Talmidim, Pastor Manny Valera, and he told me that many pastors are ready to dedicate their homes, their churches, to the God of Israel? And will I be willing to come and lay a mezuzot? Yes, a mezuzot, a Jewish mezuzot, on their doorsteps, on their gates, so that they will be able to dedicate their churches to the God of Israel. Please understand, these are not Messianic communities. Those are churches that are waking up all throughout the island to the Jewishness of their faith in a rate that is national in scope. To my amazement, I was invited by the religious leaders in this country, the top, the head of the Evangelical Society, the head of the Church of God, and the special advisor to the President of the nation, to come to meet with them and to share with them the Messianic vision. We did not have a chance to share this with you due to the sensitivity of what has been going on the last few days. But now I can share with you. The Dominican Republic nationally started their alignment process with the God of Israel. What can we expect in the last days? We can expect an alignment of the nations with the God of Israel. Some will reject him and some will join us. And that's what we can expect. This alignment is taking place in two areas in the last 24 hours, both from the religious authorities and both with the government. Today has been an historic day. We laid the very first mezuzah in a government official, one of the closest aides to the president, who asked for a mezuzah to be laid in his office, so everybody would know that his alliance and allegiance is with the God of Israel and with the Jewish people. Friends, that's happened today in the top governmental officials level. I had a chance today to go and be at the president's office, to pray there, and to share a word with them that God has given me. The nations, the remnant of the nations, will be lined up with the God of Israel in the last days for those who have ears. And today I can say that the government officials that run this great nation have heard the message. We can expect them to align with Israel. We can expect them in the future. We need to believe that their embassy will move, that they will make an impact and alliance with Jerusalem. Today was a special day because we laid a mezuzah and we pray and we said the Shema Israel in this great nation right there with the government officials. I want to thank you. It is your prayers and your support that make this a reality. It is God's grace and mercy that makes this a reality. And what I have seen today and experienced today is nothing short of the hand of God, a miracle from the mighty one of Israel. I'm asking you to continue to pray as the alignment process have begun, both on the governmental level, the very top, and in the religious level, specifically the church itself. I can tell you that yesterday, without getting into too much details, I had a chance to meet the very top layer of religious leaders in this nation and even across all the islands. They were astonished to see a Messianic Jewish rabbi coming to them and sharing with them a very clear message about Yeshua. They asked the question, what is in it for us And I said, nothing. But there is something for Israel. There is something for Yeshua. And to my shock, their hearts slowly started to melt. And as their heart melted, they started to receive the message and started to receive a revelation. It was an amazing thing to see how God revealed himself. You know, we read about the fullness of the nations. I read this passage in Romans 11 so many times about the fullness of the Gentiles. But to see it in front of my eyes, with the religious leaders happening right there, it's another level. Friends, I want to tell you something. It deeply impacted me. Seeing the hand of God, not just working now in the government, but to the point that they are considering bringing Messianic Judaism, program in Messianic Judaism, specifically our yeshiva, to every seminary, every school, and every church in this country. This is nothing short of a miracle. It is happening in front of our eyes right now, and we are asking right now for your prayer. We're not talking about impacting a pastor or a church. We're talking about impacting a nation right now, a full nation. We met with two of the largest religious organizations in this country, and their response was great. We want to partner. We want to reconcile Joseph to Jacob. We as Christians have great commitment, and we're ready to do exactly what the name of our yeshiva is, Shuva. We're ready to realign ourselves. However, they were scared. I asked him, what's the source of the fear? What are you so worried about? That I put you under the law? That I put you under the Torah? What is the source of your fear? I wanted to understand. You know what was their source of the fear? It broke my heart to hear that. They share with me some of their experiences with Messianic Judaism. I asked, what type of experiences you had? And they share with me their experiences with the Sacred Name group, with the Two Houses group, with the One People, One Law. They had a very negative, very bad experiences with even some who reject the divinity. So I asked the question, where is it coming from? And as soon as they share it with me, I understood that those are not real Messianic Jews. Those are people who pretend to be Jewish. Those are people who never study Judaism. They go and they bring destruction to what we call the Hebrew roots movement. Rest assured that I made a distinction, a clear distinction between the Hebrew roots movement and the Jewish roots movement. The two are not the same. Messianic Judaism and the Hebrew roots movement is not the same. The church is not our enemy. As you know me, you know that I don't compromise. I don't compromise on anything. They asked me about the Torah yesterday. They grilled me with question after question after question about the Torah. Guess what? I gave them the answer from the scripture, what I believe about the Torah, and why we should open the door for the nation to return to the covenants. They received it. I was surprised and astonished. They are ready to return to the covenants. But who, if not the Messianic Jews, to return them to the covenant? Who will return them to the covenant? the Hebrew roots movement, or Orthodox movement who will return them without Yeshua. I believe that God commissioned us as Messianic Jews to help the process of restoration and a process of reconciliation. We have created not one, but we created 2 programs for them. And they are ready. Friends, we are standing right now in an event. I am not exaggerating when I am telling you. Nothing that I have done to this point with the work in the nations come close to what is about to happen right now. I anticipate and expect hundreds and hundreds of Christian pastors to come, to be trained, to be discipled by Jewish rabbis like myself and others, and to take the knowledge to the church. Take this knowledge so we will see a change from the inside out. The change, friend, does not start with the people. The change starts from the very top. And we met with the religious leader, and we are ready to do it. My challenge to all of us is extend grace, especially to Christians. The Messianic Jewish movement cannot be against Christians because they are our brothers, just as we cannot be against the Orthodox Jewish Judaism because they are also our brothers. We have to be brothers to everybody. Consider this. In the story of Joseph and his brother, allow me to share with you a revelation from my upcoming book. In the story of Joseph and his brother, we want to usually focus on the reconciliation of Joseph for his brothers. But friends, this is a mistake. That is not the real story. When Joseph finally revealed himself to his brothers, he says the following words: Aod avi chai. Is my father still alive? Who was Joseph's brother? His father was Jacob. Jacob was Joseph's brother, and Jacob's name is Israel. The real restoration, the real reconciliation is the reconciliation that will take place between Jacob, Israel, and Joseph, the Messiah. He chosen the 10 brothers to be part of this reconciliation. He is using the 10 brothers to reconcile the 2 together. But notice that when the 10 brothers, when they went by themselves, Joseph did not reveal himself. When did Joseph reveal himself? Joseph revealed himself only when he saw Ahavat Israel between Reuben and Benjamin. Who is Benjamin in the story? Beloved, Benjamin in the story is none other than the Messianic Jews. When the Messianic Jews will work with the Christian to seek together the real Joseph, then Joseph will reveal himself. And when Joseph reveals himself, he will be reconciled to the entire house of Israel, and in this day all of Israel shall be saved. This is the message that I gave forward even to the president of this nation. Do you want the nation to be blessed? Great. Move the embassy to Jerusalem. Line yourself up with God. Do your job. The nation have a job, and it is not about them. The nation have a job, and their job is to reconcile Israel to the Messiah. But you cannot find the Messiah. This is the trick. If you are a non-Jew and you want to find the Messiah, you can't find the Messiah without the Jewish people. The Jews and the Gentiles need one another. And this is the message that came back and brought forward from Zion to the government, to the president, and all the way to every religious leader in this nation. That is the message today to the nation. The message should not be return to the Torah. That is important, but that is not the main message. The message is you have to be restored, because in your restoration, it means that I am reconciled. I cannot be a complete Jew. I cannot be a fulfilled Jew unless the nations crown Yeshua first. I want you to understand this. This is why we establish Yeshivat Shuvu. I don't care to teach theology to a bunch of non-Jews if they do nothing with this. But if the non-Jews go and they rectified their nation, then we achieved something great. And friends, I'm telling you something. What took place here in the last 48 hours was shocking. On Monday morning, we decided to give 30 scholarships to pastors in this nation. Do the math. 30 scholarship times $500. That's $15,000 in scholarship. I am saying it again and again. We need you to support us so we can continue to invest in this work that is costing us tens of thousands of dollars. Let me tell you what happened. Instead of 30 pastors, 45 pastors showed up and they say, here we are ready to start our journey to return back home. Rabbi Shapira, will you help us in this journey? Friends, we cannot say no. We must do our part. We must do this, but I am calling upon you today, not just on resources, but I say it, and I said it many times, this resource we need, because we see now the same thing, the exact same thing happening in Africa, the exact same things happening in Europe, the exact same thing happening in Asia. God is pouring His Spirit on this remnant, okay? Please understand this. We are in the last day of the remnant right now. And I don't know what God chose us to be in the middle of this. Who am I? I am nothing. But He's using us in this unique way. And you need to be part of this. You can come, be part of the yeshiva, be part of the school. By the way, officially this week, we are the largest Messianic yeshiva in the world. I have been oppressed and persecuted. First, by the Messianic Jews, who told me that I want to Judaize Christians, which is a lie from the pit of hell. I don't want to do this. It is not true. I have been banished from the largest Messianic Jewish organization by telling me that I'm bringing people to Orthodox Judaism. That is a lie. Absolutely a lie. Don't believe any of those things. They tried to strip me of my ordination. For what? For having a heart for the nations, to tell them that you have more to do than to give your money to Israel and pray for the peace of Jerusalem? Give me a break. The nation alignment means salvation of Israel. The nation have to do much more than just pray and give money to Israel. That is not the message for the Gentiles. They have to dress Yeshua as the Jewish Messiah one more time. Because 2,000 years ago, we sold him to the Egyptian and they sold him, and we have to dress him now. We have to prepare him now. Recently, 500,000 of Hebrew rooters send a message against me and say, I am a demon of Kabbalah. Are you looking at the demon of Kabbalah? I have no idea what they're talking about. Honestly, I have no clue. How can you claim to be in the Hebrew root and say that Israel have no right to exist as a nation? Friend, anti-Semitism is growing even in the Hebrew root movement. And my challenge and my call on the world today is leave the Hebrew root movement at once and never look back. They are shepherdless. Sheep without shepherds don't have any impact on Zion. And look at the harm that is being done even here in the island, that is now by the grace of God is being fixed and is being repaired. Thanks be to God that is giving us a chance. Tomorrow I will be in the largest church on this island, a church of 5,000 members. The first time I came to this island, there was a Messianic Jewish rabbi coming. They said, we will not even meet him, and he's not welcome here. Miraculously, I met them, and I understood the wound that the Hebrew roots movement brought upon them. Guess what happened tomorrow? Tomorrow, we lay a mezuzah in their building. Well, don't we want them to be restored? Yes, we do. We don't restore them by pounding on them. We don't restore them by condemning them. We restore them by loving on them and prove them by our action, by our work, by our deed, not by theology. This is what we're doing now. The time for words, theology is over. This is the time for action. That's why the Lord is giving me a commission to open a center here in the Dominican Republic, a center of outreach where every Christian pastor will be able to come and receive lectures and to learn and to be able to be discipled by Jewish people here in the island, completely free of charge. This is what we are going to do. But to make this a reality, we need you. We need your prayer. We need your support, because this is a lifelong work. And without the saints, nothing is going to happen. You are our community. You are the saints. You are the remnant. And we call upon you today to stand with us. If you have the resources, please come and do this. This is historic. This is prophetic. We are rectifying not just the church. We are rectifying relationship. We are breaking anti-Semitic spirit. We are breaking the Hebrew roots. We are breaking replacement theology. All of those things are being broken right now. And it's happened in humility and with the spirit of the Messiah, who is in the middle of all of these things. I'm asking you to join us in prayer. This is just halfway through the week. We have 3 more days. And it seems that every day we experience miracle after miracle after miracle. If you know me, I rarely make those type of videos when I truly call upon you. And I don't want you to think I'm calling upon you for money, because this is not what this is about. It is about us understanding the alignment of God and recognizing what God will do. And if I cannot do it, I pray somebody else will come and continue this work. I ask every day, God, give us the strength. How much more can we take? How much more strength can we? And God continued to give us strength. He continued to give us strength to do a little bit more and a little bit more. I was not even planning on being here. But this council asked to meet me urgently. So I rushed to meet with the Christian brothers here, quickly, without delay, because we are talking of the matters of Geulah. This is perhaps has been one of the most important videos that I've ever made Look, I don't even speak Spanish. How can it be that God is using us? Let me tell you how. Because it's not about me. It's about Yeshua receiving honor and being glorified as the King of the nations. May we continue to be humble. May you continue to understand that we can hasten the last day, just as it says in the book of 2 Peter chapter 3. Through life of Torah and godliness, we can hasten those days, and those days are being hastened in front of our eyes, because the fullness of the nations is happening. To be sitting in a meeting and to see how the meeting starts in one way and how it's ending another way, with complete revelation in front of our eyes in 1 hour. Imagine, what can we do in a day? What can we do in a week? What can we do in a month? What can we do if we have this center established here in the Dominican Republic? It's time to rectify Yeshua. Chaverim, I thank you for your patience. I hope you listen carefully to this video and that you share this video, because this is truly an update from the heart of God with what God is doing. They just informed me that I have to get ready because I'm teaching again tonight. I'm teaching here every night. But from us at Ahavat Ammi Ministries, we say thank you again. Rejoice and stand with us in any way that God give you the strength to do. Resources, prayer, support, we are with you. God bless you, and shalom from Dominican Republic. Expect more great prophetic updates.